Archer Morning Show. So we found out who's going to be not only your starting quarterback tomorrow versus the Bengals on this radio station at noon. Pregame starts at 10, but also who your backup's going to be. Check this out.
We're going to go in with Jaron as the TC3. They'll all be obviously suited up. We'll go through our normal process with those guys with this game plan, making sure whoever's in the game that they feel good about the things that I'm calling. And, the way this season's going, we're have a process in place now to be prepared for just about everything.
And interesting enough that one of the reporters was smart enough to say, you just dropped Josh Dobbs from your starter to third string. Tell me about that.
Jaron's fully healthy now and has really gotten back on the grass and really worked through his continued development, and wanted him to kind of go about the week this week, kind of simulating as if he was going to potentially, as if he was playing, just, using it as a real tool for his development and growth. And he's done a nice job, and just want to kind of go about it that way.
Yeah.
I just got some breaking news.
Oh, no.
The Patriots starting quarterback is going to be Jerry from AutoZone.
Yeah.
Oh.
Let us know if he doesn't do well, because we might need him next week.
We'll take him.
Yeah. That's Paul Mecurio, by the way. Our friend who's at Rick Bronson's House of Comedy tonight and tomorrow.
How many times do you think you've been on this show, Paul? Like 5, 6 maybe?
Something like that, probably.
Something like that.
Yeah,
maybe every couple of years, maybe on average.
Yeah,
something like that.
I want to say that, maybe even 7. Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, and like I said, off air, I didn't. You don't know. Like, you call me, like, hey, I'm going back in town. Are you like whatever? It's like, oh, we're not. The show's they're doing. It's an ice cream show now. They just sell ice cream for 4 hours. What?
Yeah.
And
That sounds good.
It actually.
You guys never come to New York. You should come to New York.
I know we say this every time,
and I'll get you tickets to the Late Show.
Would love to do that, man.
I do not like taking advantage of people like that. I'm going to do it.
You came to a show and Molly Shannon was the guest.
That would be great.
Taunting. Oh my God.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
That'd be karma. No, Chris has just nailed it. I'm going to feel weird, but I'm going to take you up on that. Whenever my fam goes out to New York, I'm texting you for sure. But I haven't been to New York in
no desire
since 2009, I think.
Wow. Yeah. Why do you hate New York so
I don't hate New York. I actually kind of love it. I would have loved to live there when I was single. Not interested in being in the hustle and bustle with a wife and 2 kids, but back in the day would have been fun.
Yeah, no, we've been raising our kid there, so it's like definitely it's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's like, go play on the subway. And that's not a problem. You put $20 bills, tape them to his jacket.
Sure.
They make a lot of friends.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, come on over here, little boy. But yeah, you should come. You should all come.
Yeah.
Where'd you grow up, by the way?
I grew up in Rhode Island.
Okay,
in Providence.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Italian family.
Now, how far is that from Maine and those 2 prostitutes?
Well, I can get there on Amtrak it's like 4 hours, 3.5 hours.
Yeah, Rhode Island fun?
Oh, yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah, there's great beaches, like a lot of ocean.
I got to get to that part of the country.
Yeah, Providence, Rhode Island, cool city. A lot of Italians, a lot of Irish. I'm all Italian, so that's like we got the whole big family thing going on and all that stuff. And my wife came for the first time. She's not Italian. And we were in high school, and we had the big Sunday dinner, and then we leave, and I go, how was it? She goes, oh, it was really nice, but why was everybody yelling at each other? I'm like, we're not yelling, this is how we talk. And she goes, and then like people think like plastic on the furniture, like that whole thing, because that's like a real ethnic thing. And I have friends that there's that one room you go in only at like Christmas and Easter, and then, it's got the really nice furniture, you gotta and then on the wall, there's a picture like Pope, Jesus, and Frank Sinatra. And the Frank Sinatra picture is like 3 times the size of the Pope and the Jesus picture. And the house is super neat. But our house was a pigsty growing up because we always worked in our furniture business. And so someone broke into the house and they took the stereo. They didn't touch another thing in the house. They were in and they were out, right? A cop comes over to take a police report, scans the living room, and he goes, oh my God. This animal really ransacked the place. I'm like, yeah, he was crazy. He left salami out all day. He threw a bra on the lampshade. He was crazy. So it's just it's like a time warp just sits over Rhode Island and Providence. Like things don't change.
Doesn't say much about the furniture business if they had no interest in stealing any of your furniture.
Thank you very much. Exactly. Oh my God. We had to close my mother's store after 63 years.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Well, she's 96.
Right.
And she's mad. And
So
she
she's
just
lazy.
Yeah. She's just a lazy.
Right? Yeah.
That's hilarious. I never thought of that, but she is. Go mop some floors.
Yeah,
come on.
She's like mad. She was actually making lists of other stores, places she could open the store behind our back.
Oh.
She was literally like, yeah.
It's her whole life, man.
No,
Yeah.
come on, stop. She will
Come
not
on.
go. She will not go down. We try everything. You trip her. She bounces back up like a little Italian weeble. She's like, and she's mad. She's like, I go, Ma, you can like go and travel now and we'll take you to the senior center. She actually said to me, I'm not going to go there. Those people are old. I'm like, you're old. What do you think? You're going to go skydiving with Taylor Swift? You're old.
96?
Yeah.
By the way, can we get Taylor Swift on the program?
Oh, there you go.
Taylor Swift?
There we
Can
go.
we get your mom on the program? I mean, let's just be honest. Hey, what where are you guys from in Italy? Where's the family trace this line back to?
Naples and Abruzzi, my father's side, Abruzzi, like the
I've not
middle
heard of Abruzzi, yeah.
the middle of the country, and then Naples, yeah, and it's just the whole like Italian. Like my uncle was a barber, but then like it's all about food. This is how Italian we were. Like he had you get cold cuts. You go to the store, you buy the cold cuts. They're in this stuff.
Yeah.
He had a meat slicer in his basement because it has to be fresh, and he would have like loaves of like salami and bologna. He would just cut it. Yeah, it was insane, and it was like, and then my cousin, his nephew, his son, my cousin,
Vinny,
Bobby.
Of course,
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, runs numbers. Did I ever tell you that story?
No. Does he really?
Yeah, he runs numbers. He dresses like John Travolta in Saturday Night Fever to this day. He's in front of a social. She stands in front of the social club, just like on like what was the
Sopranos or anything?
Sopranos,
Yeah.
and he's got like tight white pants, and he's smoking a cigarette, and the legs are always moving, like they're always shaking. They're always moving, like he's got a live snake in his pants. He's like, hey, how you doing? How you doing? I am not making this up. And he's got a big coif of hair, really handsome guy, and he's always got a scam, and he's always got something going on. And he was running. He still does. He runs numbers, and he would come. I was pumping gas to make some extra money when I was younger, and he'd come. He was selling stuff out of the trunk of his car. He had a Ford Torino. I'm not kidding you, like a fire red Ford Torino, and he was selling suits, ratchets, and car alarms. It was car alarms that he stole out of other people's cars. And when you said to him, don't you know, Bobby, that these are stolen? You not very good. He goes, what are you talking about? They just don't have the box. Here, take it. He really does talk like that, right? And then he comes to my father's funeral. So my father passed away. It was the summer. And like you come to a funeral and I'm at the receiving line and there's an open casket and there's like grays and, subdued colors.
Sure.
And coming at me is Bobby, an orange dot. And like, this is how he dressed. He was in a fluorescent orange silk shirt, unbuttoned with gold chains, white pant leather belt, white slacks. Yeah.
Straight out of the book Wise Guy.
Exactly.
Straight out of that.
Exactly.
Wow.
Just a walking stereotype.
Exactly. Yeah, like a creamsicle with chest hair, basically.
Can you give us a
Calm
car
down,
alarm?
Zach.
It's like- and then white mesh loafers and no socks because, it was the summer.
Yeah, right.
But because it was the summer, you got to put powder on your feet to keep them dry.
Yeah.
But he overdoes everything.
Yeah.
He put too much powder. So every time he'd step toward the casket, puffs of white smoke were coming out of the tops of his shoes. I swear it's like somebody nominated a pope. And, and then he comes up and he says, you kneel, you do the prayer at the casket. And then he had like a car alarm, and he put a car alarm in the casket as a tribute, and he thought it was funny. I swear to God.
That didn't stay in there, did it?
I think
They got to take that out.
Well,
That would be
I wasn't going to
ridiculous.
reach in there with my father there. And my father's like next to me. And it's open casket. I'm laughing. This city, and then he does this. He does the thing, right? He kneels. He does the prayer, and then he stands up, and he does this and now it's like a room full of people facing the casket, just murmuring, whatever. And he does like an Elvis turn to the whole crowd, to everybody, and he starts scanning the room. He's picking up chicks. He was going up to women.
That's my boy.
Yeah.
That's my
Funeral
boy.
crashing.
It's like right out of a movie.
Well, I'll tell you.
That's good.
We do our own comedy segment here each week now, each
boy.
day. We call it the Power Trip News, and our boss had the idea after I kind of refocused Zach's ideas for our two. We do our own a weekend update style thing every day.
Cool.
The only one who doesn't participate is Corey, and he's basically the Simon Cowell because he's a criticizer. So that's what he does.
Yeah, those who can't do criticize,
Right.
correct? So, Paul, what you and I get to do is listen to these three attempt to write jokes.
If you like what you hear, just let us know.
Okay.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Because, I'm
Zach,
always,
this could be your big
I'm
break.
willing to move
It's
to New
not.
York. just
You
so
could
know.
go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Paul, you and Paul could fly back to New York. He's going to hook you up
be
with the
on your
late show.
computer.
This is your future.
Yeah, can I bring my laptop?
Apparently, he's got an apple that's available. He saw an apple in case you're hungry. So
Yeah, I got an apple right here.
This is KFAN News with Chris Hockey.
Hi, everybody. This is the news. A Scottish man made headlines this week because he tore a hole in his throat while trying to stifle a sneeze.
Oh.
After a week of not being able to talk, his first words were, "Thank God it wasn't a fart."
Paul liked it.
See, I got kind of a laugh, kind of.
No, that was good.
Yeah.
Did you like the accent that I did, or was it too much?
Well, you sounded like a Czechoslovakian hooker.
Hey, I know what I know. All right.
Yeah, I can't do any accent, so it's
I know.
I don't know what it was.
All right, Zach. Don't be nervous,
Paul,
Zach.
this one requires knowing who.
Now
Eric-
you're smiling. My whole
Okay.
story about my cousin, you didn't smile once. First of all, sit up. You have terrible
All
posture.
right, I know. I do.
God, somebody
I do.
said
Why
it.
your legs? I don't
Somebody
need to.
said it.
Wait a minute. Stop. What is it? What is this thing in your pocket?
My
That's
wallet.
weed.
He has the biggest wallet.
No,
Show
got
me
a
your wallet.
It's like a
Costanza wallet.
It's a Costanza wallet.
Yeah, it is.
That's a bit. Let's go through the wallet.
It's basically casino rewards cards.
They really are.
That's sad.
They are.
It's sad.
Zach.
All right, go ahead.
The
Sorry.
Mayo Clinic Health System is opening a new in-house pharmacy in Mankato. Officials say it will be the first in-house pharmacy in Mankato since the most recent one closed down shortly after Eric Nordquist left town.
You don't know who Nordo is.
Yeah,
That joke's tough when you don't know who Nordo is. He does
It's
the
a
show.
funny
Oh no, I get it now.
You see, he smokes a lot of drugs.
He smokes a lot of drugs. Boy, that really makes him sound like a crackhead. Zach.
I get it now.
Oh my God! You know who would love that joke? Molly Shannon.
Yeah, she here?
And Jesus Christ.
Sauce.
Police in Washington State are investigating after a elementary student found a jar of cocaine on the playground. School officials at Evergreen Heights Elementary in Auburn, south of Seattle, say the child found the jar last week and tasted like powder. They tested it. It was cocaine. Later on, the kid was heard screaming, "Say hello to my little friend."
That's good. That's good.
That's good.
That is excellent.
Thank you, Paul.
I got it. Am I rating them?
Yeah,
yeah,
essentially,
please, yeah.
you and I are here to criticize their jokes.
Yeah.
I loved your criticism of Zach's joke.
Yeah.
You thought that Sauce's was solid.
I'm not a fan of any of them. I think you guys, you're doing exactly the right job you're doing.
Yeah, thank you.
I would not move. I would not say, "Hey, I'm going to make a career change like the idiot I am that I did." And no, I think that that one was a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do the one about the hole in the net thing again.
Okay, a Scottish man made headlines, tore a hole in his throat while trying to stifle a sneeze. After a week of not being able to talk, his first words were, "Thank God it wasn't a fart." You just wanted to hear the accent again.
Oh yes, exactly.
But I have a second one here, but you got to know a little
ahead.
bit about the show. But just trust me, this is a great one.
Imagine if I did that on stage. Hey, listen, this is going to suck, but trust me, it's good.
Yeah, it's about my uncle.
Three scientists set out to create the worst song in history. And many are saying they were successful. Here it is.
See, Paul, that's a joke
That's his
because
favorite.
my favorite band is 311, so he's making fun of my favorite band.
They also say at the beginning of their shows, "This is gonna suck, but it's good."
See how that was a callback.
That was a callback.
Do you like callbacks, Paul Mecurio?
You know, I like them. Some people think it's like a kind of a cheap whatever,
Right.
but in your case, I would take whatever you can get.
Thank you.
I would do as many callbacks as you can.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you play 311 during lovemaking?
That's gonna love me first.
He's the 3, she's an 11.
Wow, he is really mad about losing this contest.
He is. All right, you got one more shot, Zach.
By
Get
the
it
way,
on.
that wallet is considered a carry-on.
Yes, it is.
Just so you know when you get on the flight.
Police in...
Oh, we have another one?
Oh, yeah.
I'm loving this, by the way.
This is not good.
Hang on, let me peel my banana.
Oh, this one's not good.
Hey, Zach, is this turning you on?
It's peeling a banana.
Very European of you.
Go ahead.
Very European of you. That's good, man. I like it.
Go ahead.
Police in Virginia are investigating after a man in a gingerbread man costume tried to enter a home earlier this week. The police department says the suspect tried to open the door without knocking. Officials say the man may have been looking for revenge after his house was eaten last year.
Yeah, you need to quit. Bye. I can't even be in this room. You just made me unfunny. Jasmine, I can't do the shows. Cancel the shows.
All right. Well, then,
You know what that is? That's just an American not even trying at all. This is why the rest of the world looks at some Americans as lazy. You just walked through that.
Two laziest people I know, Zach Halverson and Paul's lazy-ass mom, who won't work at a freaking furniture store after 96 years. Get back to work.
Sofa anymore. You can lift it if you wanted to.
Meat sauce
do you
has
have
the last
one more?
Yeah, one more.
I do, yeah.
Land this
Save the
one.
bit. Come
Save
on.
it. Save
Save
it.
it.
Sauce.
A man faces a felony charge after police say he broke the windows at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints temple last Tuesday. The police were called to the temple shortly after 3:30 on reports of a man smashing windows with a hammer. The suspect fled the scene in the car before the officers arrived. So I guess we all know what Corey was doing with his time off.
Oh. And you know the best part of that was the crinkling of the paper.
Thank you. Come on.
That's how you punctuate.
I could have taken... You want to talk about lazy? I could have taken any of these crazy,
No, but then you
wacky
saw
stories.
the gingerbread thing being eaten.
You know what? I like the gingerbread man joke.
Yeah, the gingerbread.
So, Paul,
Actually, that's Corey.
we started doing this bit like 3 weeks ago, and one of the things that I've mentioned specifically with Zach and Sauce is not only their inability to write a joke, but neither one of them can read. And that really honestly hampers or that doesn't give them a chance to land the joke.
I know. Well, first of all, he did it in 0.1 font.
It
Like
hinders
it's
it
so small.
greatly.
Yeah.
You can't. Yeah. This is. Now, how long did you spend on these jokes?
6 weeks.
Yeah, 2 months.
Yeah.
Since the last time you were here.
I was told that this could be my big break.
Yeah, Paul's going to be in here. Write some jokes. Show him what you can
crammed
do.
all night last night.
You should come. You should come to the club and do some set.
You know what? I did a good 5 minutes a few years ago.
I'm sure you're funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
How was your 5 minutes a few years ago, Cor?
Thought I did fine.
So how come you're not doing jokes?
That's a great
I'm at the
question.
point in my life,
the
Paul.
critic.
I'm at a point in my life. I don't do anything I don't want to do. These guys know that frequently.
Wow.
If I don't want to do it, I say, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, obviously we aren't doing that yet because we still work with you.
That was the best joke of the bit. There you go. That was pretty good.
We got to it.
When we come back, Marney Gellner will be here. She will also beg you to get Molly Shannon on this show.
We will talk. I am really racking my brain trying to think if I can know somebody. But
All right. We'll talk again with Paul Mecurio after this. Rick Brunson's House of Comedy. 2 shows tonight, 2 shows tomorrow. He's been on our show again.
I got
6,
a killer
7 times.
gingerbread house joke.
Go see him at Mall of America, Rick Brunson. We're back after this with Marney and Paul Mecurio on The Fan.
Listen to The Fan. I just want to be the best. I just want to be the
Hey, welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Power Trip Morning Show.
And Marnie's here.
Yeah, Marnie's here. It is
Hi, Marnes.
December 15th, and Marnie's here. It's 7:28. Marnie, hi.
Yeah.
Hi, Marnie.
Hi.
Marney Gellner.
Good morning.
Paul Mecurio.
Yeah,
Paul
we
Mecurio.
just
Marney
met.
Gellner.
You seemed taken aback by
Wait,
my
hang
hug
on,
again.
wait.
I feel bad.
He's getting
Molly.
Oh, he's on the phone.
Molly.
Oh, you're turning Molly
I can't. Sorry, it's Molly Shannon.
Yeah, no problem.
And,
Take your time.
Yeah. I'll call you back. I know we had that affair, but it's not going to work.
Yes, it happens.
Sorry.
Yeah. Marnes,
Yeah.
We tried, Marnes.
we asked. I don't know if you were listening or not.
I heard.
Yeah.
I'm
tried.
trying to think if I know somebody.
Here's the thing.
Here's the thing.
And I don't want to sound ungrateful.
It sounds like you are already.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But
I don't want to say your haircut sucks, but
Yeah.
But now the buildup is way too big.
100%.
I could never ask her a question that would be good enough. The interview would never be entertaining enough to live up to what we've now built it
That's
to.
completely
I'm
wrong.
going to go
I'm gonna tell you-
on the record and saying I don't want to bring her on as a
No,
guest.
we're gonna do
I
it.
do.
Paul's
want-
going to help us. We're
no,
going to do it.
I
He's
do
our last
want-
hope.
But I want to
He's
be.
our last chance.
I want to have a friendship.
Well, that's not going
With
to
her.
happen.
You're
So
worried
let
hang
me
on.
take
Hang
care
on.
of that.
You're worried about an interview having too high of expectations, but you want a friendship with Molly Shannon. But that's not unrealistic?
did you
feel
not
like
hear the
we'd
show?
be
We just had a guy
friends.
on his computer for 20 minutes, and that was the entertainment.
Yeah.
I'm just going to pull up the box score from last night.
No, you want to know why I disagree? Because you're going to be so into the conversation that's going to carry through to people, and it's not going to be fake. So, and who cares what they think? Because if you're doing it for you and you're in the moment, you're
Sure.
a broadcaster.
Well, the pushback will be I've heard 1,000 interviews with her already. She's already been asked all the questions. I just want to talk. It would be boring as hell for you guys and for the listeners.
Well, that's what
I
we
just
do.
want to talk
No, it
to her
wouldn't
and be like,
boring because
let's
you're
hang out.
going to talk because you're so interested. You're going to ask a question that nobody else asked.
Right.
That's the difference.
I don't believe in myself enough to do that.
Yeah, you know what? We actually had a meeting at the Late Show and we said, we could have George Clooney on. No, he's been interviewed a lot already. Why bother? No.
Remember Steven said, I don't know what I would ask. What would I ask?
Exactly.
I'm nervous. I just want to have, a relationship with him.
I
just
met
wanna be friends
Oprah.
with him.
I met
I don't
Oprah. I
blame him.
talked to her, Tom and Jerry, and it was a fun time.
See?
I think
Callback.
you would be great.
Come on, Marnie.
Because
Just
you're
have
so
faith in yourself. You can do it.
And besides, if it's a train wreck, I'll love it even more.
Exactly.
We'll play it back.
What is it about her that you?
She just does it for
Yeah,
me.
big fan.
All right.
I grew up loving SNL, and she's my all-time favorite cast member. My single all-time favorite skit is Mary Catherine Gallagher.
Very
So-
underrated part in Talladega Nights. She
So
plays
good.
the wife. Who's
She's
just
kind of a
hammered.
scene stealer
Yeah.
in everything.
Yeah.
I heard you guys were talking about, I think, Emmy nominations the other day, and you brought up the other two, and none of you had ever heard that show. And I was like, Molly Shannon's in that show, man. She plays the mom of the other two siblings. Anyway, she's just very memorable. She makes me laugh. Her facial expressions make me laugh. When I get nervous, I also put my fingers in my armpits and then smell them.
Okay. So, let me ask you this. This is self-serving.
And I put my fingers in her armpits too.
Let's say Paul gets this done, right? Let's say Paul knows somebody. Molly Shannon eventually gets on this show. Is the birthday present still from us, or would it be from Paul?
At this point, let's see, my birthday was in October.
Okay. You said it like I'm late on a gift for you.
Well, A, you are, but B, I'm just.
No,
I'm
you
just
gave me the eyes and everything.
clarifying.
Like, hello, it was October.
That's
I'm
Marnie for you.
clarifying because
Okay.
you're not in the circle
Uh-oh.
yet.
Kind of.
Yet.
All right. Okay.
I mean, I meant mine.
Right.
Sorry. Sorry.
You're new to each other. We get
Yes.
it.
All right.
Either way, it's not over yet. He's our last hope.
What
If
else you
Paul
got?
can't get it done, it's over for us. But still,
Would you
we're
like to
trying,
meet the
Mark.
head of wardrobe for the Late Show?
Actually, yes.
That's pretty cool.
I think her middle name is Molly.
See?
I bet she's met Molly Shannon,
She
right?
probably
So
has.
you guys could
I
talk
dressed
about
her.
Molly.
Yeah.
And she could dress you. That would be nice.
Molly Shannon, like Lucy with the thing with the booth that she has in Charlie Brown. Molly Shannon has a booth in Times Square. She meets anybody.
Yeah, see?
I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
being mean.
Pretty
I'm
cool.
sorry.
Yeah,
I
right.
just met you. I'm sorry.
Don't.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, we're not there.
All right. I'm trying to think if I could figure something out.
Well, I don't know. At the very least, you could have us out for a taping of the show, and I know Marnes loves New York City as well.
I do.
Would love
we
to
can,
have her.
we can see your show, stay for the weekend, go catch an episode of Saturday Night Live. It'd be awesome. We would love that,
Yeah.
man.
And if they don't come and you come, you can get my number. I'll be happy to get you tickets.
See?
That's very nice. Thank
We
you. I
don't
did-
tape on a Friday. Just don't plan on a
Yeah.
Friday, but otherwise,
Okay.
be happy
Wonderful.
to do that.
Hey, what is a work day like for you guys?
We get in about 10. We do lines until 11.
Cocaine?
Yeah. And
Wow.
then a lot of drinking, rum. Then we roll out. The show, it's kind of the pattern after what we used to do on the Daily Show, which is you pick stories in the morning. Everybody would get assigned a newspaper, and you go like, what do you got? What do you got? What are the stories you want to do? 6 or 7 stories, and then go off and write for 3 hours. It was like taking a final every day.
Wow.
Is it like, well, a guy at a gingerbread house, that kind of story?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, who's going to do the eating one? And then you're just trying to come up with as much funny as you can come up with. And then at 1 o'clock, the jokes get picked. And then from like 2 to 3, they got to get produced. Like you got to get, whatever props and stuff. And then it gets rehearsed at 4-ish, 3:34, gets rewritten one more time. And then while that's getting rewritten, the audience is being brought into the theater. And then the audience warm up, the band plays, and then we tape at 5:30.
Wow. Do you do the warm up? Who does the warm up? Do you ever do it yourself?
If I'm there, I'll do the warm up.
Yeah,
sometimes other people. Yeah, and it's fun because we try to do a show within a show, and the band plays. Like they get a little private concert. It's a fun show to see live for that reason. But like, it's 200 people just pushing to get this thing on the air every day, and there's never enough time. You're always like, God, if we just had another, we had another.
How many comedy writers are there?
I think there's like 14 now.
Wow.
When we started the Daily Show, there were 6 of us writing 6 shows. We would do headlines, which was three stories in the first act. This just in was its second act, 2 stories, and then other news was the third act. So there was 6 stories, 6 writers.
We had more people in the studio right now than you had right now.
I was going to say.
Right. And
wow,
Zach keeps bringing them in. So
there's a lot of young people. What's going on?
A lot of people coming in. Is Zach having a party over there? What's going on?
Oh, yeah. We got more coming in, too. Remember we used to have, pre-COVID, we had, 15 people a Friday?
Yeah,
yeah.
And now it's like 2 or 4. Maybe they're tired of us.
Yeah,
I think this is going to be the most packed the studio's been in like 3 years, which is going to be cool.
That seems like a lot of pressure every day to come up with that kind of comedy, but it's like a muscle. If you keep using it, you get better at it, I guess.
Yeah, but I also think it's a numbers game. That's why you have a staff, right?
Sure.
So like if you're on and somebody's off, you got like you're covered, right? Because sometimes because then you read the jokes and then it's like somebody's reading your jokes or you read your own jokes and you want to laugh harder at your jokes than the other guy's joke because you want to get your jokes on.
Sure.
Like it's this weird thing. And then and then there's like a rewrite session sometimes, and like everybody just gets in a room and goes, John or whatever, Steven doesn't like that joke about whatever, I don't know, the crocodile story, whatever, right. Go rewrite. And everybody was like, oh, we want to go to lunch. So you think it's like happy and go lucky. Everybody's like, well, I hate my job. I don't want to do this. And now you're all in a room trying to come up with a bunch of jokes.
Is Steven the guy with the final say on everything? Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
And John was. And, like, typically, like, that's kind of how you want it. It's got to come out of his mouth.
Yeah, right.
Craig Kilborn, not so much. It was more the women that were producing the show, the executive producers.
Huh.
He would just read the stuff.
Marnie, don't you think that'd be a fun job? I know it'd be a lot of pressure, but that'd be fun, right?
Yes, if you could be good at it, yeah. But the pressure would be tough. The pressure would be real tough.
It's a burnout, 4 or 5. And we're doing 4 days, and we were doing 5.
Right.
And it's like someday, but now there's there's so much going on. There's a lot of
material.
Summers can be kind of dead because it's like a slow whatever. But then we've gotten in trouble for stuff. We did a story like on Times Square and the Disneyfication of Times Square, and then we had a correspondent go into the Disney store and go, has everything really gotten cleaned up, or is Times Square still the smut area that it was? And he would hold up dolls and go, I don't know, can I say this word?
I don't know, probably not.
With a D?
No, probably not.
D-I-L-D?
Oh, yeah, you can say dildo.
Oh, yeah,
I love
okay.
it.
All right. Yeah, he loves them.
So,
if you didn't hear that part.
Wow. Take them off your neck. And he would literally hold up. He went to the Disney store and he goes, I'm here to, because it was like cleaning up Times Square, right? So, and he goes, has it really changed? And then he would hold up things like, the mermaid doll and go, this is actually a dildo. And then he hold another thing, a dildo. And then we cut the piece together, and the president of the network came in on a Friday and he goes, you know when your dad screams at you like he's so mad he can't see you? He goes, well, I saw that piece. He goes, you can't say dildo 12 times in a 3-minute piece. And we're like, well, we didn't know there was a rule. We go, how many times can you say it? And he's just looking at you like, you could tell he had no answer. He's like, 4. You can say it 4 times.
That's great.
So we called him 4 Dildo Doug after that.
That's what they called my dad. good
But they
stuff.
wanted us to kind of go too far and then pull us back. That's what they told
Yeah,
us.
that makes sense.
And so we just were like kids in a candy store, like blowing up the chemistry set kind of thing. But yeah, it's cool.
Paul, you came in at the crack of dawn today. Thank you so much for
Appreciate
that.
it.
Man, thank
you're
you.
the
It was
best.
awesome to see you.
Man,
Paul
it was great to
Mecurio,
see you guys. Nice
again,
to meet you.
Rick Bronson's House of
Please
Comedy.
come to New York and
Yes, sir.
I'll get you tickets.
Tonight and tomorrow, 7:30, 9:45 today, tonight, 7 and 9:30 tomorrow. Mall of America, Bloomington. You can go to moa.houseofcomedy.net. Paul Mecurio, and that thing we were talking about earlier, please let us know if that's going to happen as well. Really excited, man. Thank you for coming in. It's always great to see you.
Oh, great to see you guys. Thanks for having me.
There he
everybody.
goes.
Thanks, Paul. All right, Corey Provis makes his Power Trip debut and his Initials game debut in a little bit. He'll be here in a second. We'll do Vikings news. Marney Gellner's already here. Initials at 8:15, and one of you is going to have a crack at $54,500 with the St. Paul Federal Credit Union Initials jackpot. The Power Trip's back after this on The Fan.
The Fan. Hey, Paul, The Fan.
Merry Christmas.
Hey, everybody. Power Trip Morning Show. Welcome back. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, Merry Christmas, man. It's the 15th day of December. And I know there's no snow on the ground, but do your best, you know? Spread some cheer. You know, the best way to spread Christmas cheer is to singing loud for everybody to hear.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Hey, who's that over there with you and Marnes?
That's Corey Provis. He's finally allowed
look
in the
at
building.
him. Yay.
Hey.
Hey.
Years
up,
of
guys?
waiting for him to get a different job, so our bosses would allow him in the freaking building.
Good to see you guys.
Good to see
huge
you, man.
Huge fan of the show.
Oh, that's a nice
And I have been listening for a long time, and I can't wait. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah.
To play today, and I've heard and just visualized in my mind what the Marney Gellner chair throw looks like.
Yeah.
And I really want to see it today.
Oh, you gonna get one
I
today?
really want to see
I
it.
don't think you will. I
really want to see it.
You're right in the
Support.
line of it, too.
Am I really?
It's wild.
yeah.
Oh, geez.
Congrats on the new gig, man.
Thanks, man.
The new television voice of the Minnesota Twins, longtime radio guy. I think a lot of people were cheering for you to get it. I know one of the rumors was they were going to simulcast it. Who knows if that had any truth, but we're like, that makes sense. Have Corey on TV and just throw that on the radio. But
I'm glad
Chris
they
Atterbury's
didn't.
gonna
I'm
do
glad
it.
they didn't, because radio in this market, I think Twins fans and the 90 some affiliates the Twins have had for a long time, it means so much to people. I think listening to Twins games in the summer is a vital part of people's lives in the upper Midwest. So I'm glad that there's still the separate medium, and Chris is going to do a great job. Pump for him.
Super cool, man.
Well,
Good
congrats,
for you,
Hawk.
it's not me. I don't talk well. I do love me some baseball on the radio, though. We've talked about this a million times. When it comes to sports on the radio, you know, I love our Vikings broadcast. I love it all, man. But when I'm listening to baseball on the radio, I feel like I'm 19 years old again. I love it, man. I loved the Reds growing up on the big one in WLW out of Cincinnati, and baseball on the radio just sounds right to me, man. I love it.
And what's great is that there's a game every day.
Yeah.
So if they lose, it's not the end of the world.
That's true, too.
Like,
Yeah.
we're not playing like Monday morning sad montages on KFAN after the Vikings lose, right? We're not doing that.
Yeah.
We're not. So if we lose on a Tuesday, who cares? You know what?
Right.
There's a game 12 hours later, and you try again.
So true.
So let me ask you about radio broadcasting baseball games, because we do 3.5 hours a day, 5 days a week, and I feel like we tell the same six stories for the last 22 years. How do you not repeat stories all the time when you're filling time on Twins games?
Because Dan Gladden is like that appetizer at the Outback Steakhouse, that bloomin' onion. You keep picking at it, and you never get to the middle.
just got that many
There's always
stories.
more, right? There's always something you have not heard about this man's unique life. So we weave that in, but there's always something to answer. There's always a why. Well, why did something happen or not happen the night before? And maybe because we wanted to get into it, but the game changed by the fourth or fifth inning, and the next day the game's out of hand in the second or third. Hey, let's go back to yesterday a little bit. There was a significant development of the game, and let's kind of rehash why it worked or why it didn't. So there's always somewhere we can go. And I think the pace of the game allows us that we don't have to just hurry through it, that if we miss a foul ball or two, who cares? We're not missing anything impactful. But if there's a pitch and play, you call it. Other than that, you just kind of you just have fun, and it's a laid back gig, you know.
Before you were here, you learned a lot from Bob Euchre.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It's the best remedy for a bad day.
Yeah.
It really is, because you have them. Like you said, Corey, there's There's a game almost every day. You're tired. You may be in the middle of 17 in a row. You've been in 3 different cities, 2 different time zones. You're beat. And the last thing you want to do is just, man, I could use a day off today. But then when I'd pull up and I'd sit on the left and Bob was 2 feet to my right, all that went away. Because for the next 3 hours, I was going to laugh. I was going to learn and have just a great time and getting paid to do it. So it really was an amazing experience.
What is that like broadcasting with somebody that makes you laugh?
You guys don't have that experience, do you? Gosh, I'm so sorry, man. What a sad way to go about it, man.
I
We laughed
have
a lot yesterday.
Yeah, it was the best. I know.
I spent a lot of time with you, Corey, and with
sorry about that, Corey.
that crew.
Gellner.
Oh.
And speaking of laughing, and you brought up Danny Gladden already, he is one of the wackiest, funniest, most original people I've ever met in my life. And he does weird, different, quirky things, and he makes every day different in the mundane, which can be a baseball life. Now, you won't be in the same booth every day as Dan Gladden. I'm wondering how he took the news of your transition and how you feel about the things you'll miss about that wacky man.
Well, when I got the job, my first phone call was to my wife Dana, and then my second phone call was to my baseball wife, Danny. So that's why I call. I don't know if he'll like baseball wife, but anyway, my partner. All right, my partner. He was.
Don't love that either.
He was great, but he was so supportive. He understood where I was going and why I was doing
He was okay
it.
with you transitioning?
He was. We're still debating all that, but he was great and very supportive of it. I'm going to see him every day, and now I'm just worried that I was on the receiving end of some pranks before. I think they'll probably pop up a bit more.
You think?
Maybe a flower pot in a lobby hallway might be leaning up against my door a bit more. That's one of his go-to moves. You got to be careful when you get up in the morning that maybe that plant that's outside that elevator might be leaning against your door outside your hotel room. That's been known to happen, so you got to be a little careful.
Did he ever order breakfast for you at a hotel and stick you with the $80 bill?
Did that happen to you, Marnie?
Yeah, it did.
It did?
Did
What?
you ever go on a late night chicken wing binge and shove the remnants under your hotel
way
door?
that could not have had. No way that happened to you, Marty. I don't believe it.
I'm taking notes. This is great stuff. We're going to Cincinnati in a few hours.
Yeah, Hawk's going to be doing
PA's
that
in
to
deep
PA.
trouble. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
We had some fun.
That's cool, man.
What about the time that we were in Kansas City and you're in the back seat and Danny's driving?
No, I was in the front seat because I was controlling the radio.
Oh, sorry, you're doing the radio, doing
we're driving home from a
Gellner
game.
karaoke, and Danny strategically backs into a parking spot in the hotel, and Marty's door is right next to a pillar.
Yeah.
So she cannot open said door, so she is trapped in this rental car.
It was
Has to
because he
climb
was mad because I was controlling the radio and the Dixie Chicks were on and I cranked it up and he didn't like it. So he wedged me into the car.
Oh, that was beautiful. That was a good night. That was a good night.
We had a party with Gladden.
Yeah, man, it's
fun.
awesome.
He is.
Bring your passport and have your own transportation.
Is that right?
Yes. Have your own transportation.
And some bail money.
So who's the rotation now, right? Because Justin Morneau does a lot of the games, correct?
Right.
So he'll be your partner for a good chunk of it. Who else is in the mix?
They're all still sorting that out. So I would assume it's the same guys. I would assume it's going to be Morneau and Plouffe and Perk and maybe Hawkins and maybe some other guys.
Do you like that idea? The idea of kind of a rotation? Is that maybe keep it fresh for
does.
you?
Yeah, just so I'm not going to the same guy with the same angle and the same strategic move of why it worked or why it didn't. I think that'll be neat. I had fun when Dick had COVID at the beginning of the season last year, and I was with Morneau and Perk on the air, and I was just using those guys a lot for things that would pop up in close games, and we'll have more of that. But there's also going to be some times you guys see there was a Braves telecast last year where they had all analysts. It was Smoltz, it was Glavin, it was Chipper Jones, I think Jeff Francoeur. There's going to be a few of those, and I'm going to sneak over, do some radio still. I'll still do about 5 or 6 radio games, and then we'll have kind of like an analyst-driven, telecast from time to time as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Is it? And again, I know this is kind of the minutia, but talking on the radio, there's a lot more. You got to be more descriptive.
Right.
Are you going to be conscious of that when you're doing TV?
Yeah,
more?
I think I'll have to. I think that'll be something early on that I'll rely on. I'm sure listeners will tell me, shush. But I would imagine that, producers and directors will be like, hey, lay out. And just, that'll take some time. But I do enough TV in the off season that I'm used to the medium. of television. So I don't think that'll be that big of an adjustment, but doing it every day and trying to get the cadence down and my pacing down, yeah, I think that'll be an adjustment.
What about your microphone? Because a lot of people don't see your spot on radio, but you wear earbuds, like the modern, not these over-the-ear earmuffs. Hands, we call them.
Yes, so you're a power tripper.
And you have this microphone with this long neck, like just a single microphone. Yeah. And we in TV wear the all-in-one headset with the microphone that comes across your face.
Right.
Are you going to change?
I hope that I can still use the stick mic.
Really?
I just like it better. I like my mother-in-law is an audiologist, so I do like the custom-made earbuds she made me. So I'd like to keep that going if I can.
I'm picturing Bob Barker's mic. Is that what we're talking about here, the long stick mic?
But it is connected to the desk. He doesn't hold it with his hand.
Gotcha.
Right.
I think you should. I do think you should go full Bob Barker on
You think so?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, now I'm not going to do one of those like the boy band, earpiece mics. I don't think I want to do one of those
Garth
like
Brooks like?
I don't know about that. I'm not sure.
Hey, what was it like being born in the only 8-year stretch in existence where people were named Corey?
Oh, that's right. When were you? Are you a child of the 70s like I am?
1980.
Oh,
but it
missed it.
But it was like a 7-8 year window and then it ended.
It's gone. Are you seeing less RYs too? Are you seeing more EYs?
EY is prepreposterous.
Yes,
you and I spell it the correct way.
Yes.
E is a waste of time.
Amen.
It's a waste of ink.
Amen, Gellner. That's right. Unnecessary.
Gellner's just
why do you like that?
Come on, Gellner. Come on.
I don't even like
You're
the
a
name
hater.
Corey.
You're a hater. You're a hater, Gellner.
Yeah, why do you have an E? Why can't it just be Marny? The E's a waste of space.
Maney?
There's still an R in there.
Oh.
Didn't get rid of the R.
Yeah, Maney.
Great point. Great point. There it is.
Is this visit to the power trip everything you thought it would be?
Yeah,
Corey?
Rosie. Sure it is. I mean,
Maney, please
I'm a
quit
fan.
answering me.
I'm a huge fan.
Are you looking forward to playing the initials?
I can't wait.
You think
I'm
you're gonna
very
get at it?
nervous. I'm very nervous. My 8-year-old daughter was quizzing me this morning.
Oh, Mia, she's the
Mia,
cutest.
we were doing, we've been listening, we've been studying, and so we love the game. I think I've told you guys before. I mean, we play, but we also bought the game, and so we take it on. We take it All-Star
we've
break, every
talked
trip,
about the
how
game.
much I love the game and love the concept. So I'm honored to be here today.
That's great.
You're my favorite TV broadcaster, and it's not even close.
Oh, man.
Wow,
See?
wow, look at that.
Gellner, take that. Later.
Yeah, Maney's my second favorite. All right, should we do Vikings news?
Well, we're kind of out of time. Let's do it with sports.
Yeah, why don't we do it when we come back? 'Cause we don't have a lot of sports to talk about anyway. The Wolves kicked Dallas's ass. The Wild came back and sniped the Calgary Flames. That's pretty cool. But Vikings game tomorrow, Saturday at noon. Chris, you're flying out today.
We fly out today. Yep, it's a great city. Looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow too. There's so many questions to be answered. We know Alexander Madison's not going to play. We know Brian O'Neill's not going to play, but we do know JJ probably will. And we also know who our backup quarterback's going to be, which is an odd thing, man.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. All right, so Corey Provis is here. He'll make his initials debut in about 20 minutes. Maney Gellner is here. We can talk to the Timberwolves expert on the panel about the Wolves winning in Dallas. More of the Power Trip after this on The Fan.